Hi guys and girls, I'm gonna read you today from my book Paolo, The Restoration of a Childlike Optimism. It's a book about love and music and a rare disease called MCAS. I am going to start with the prologue. We are broken by others, but we mend ourselves. We take comfort in strangers, but I don't think it helps. If every fool wore a crown, I would be a king and not a clown. Paolo Nutini. Prologue. People tend to notice me, though not because of my looks. I'm neither especially pretty or ugly, have no extra arms sticking out somewhere or a third nipple on my forehead. I'm of average height, for a female perhaps a little too tall with my 5'9". My face is okay. My eyes are, although nicely shaped, a little too small and too close to each other, but even that doesn't strike one as out of the ordinary. It just gives me what my mother calls an intelligent look, as if that's a compliment in a world as shallow as ours. It usually starts when I get a plastic container out of my backpack, place it on the table, open it and begin eating its contents while in a restaurant with my family or my friends. Or when I'm in a cafe and I open a box of my hypoallergenic biscuits and begin dipping them into the coffee, in which prior to that I pour my hypoallergenic rice-based milk, which I brought in a reusable takeaway cup. And then I'm eating those biscuits right there in front of everyone and perhaps directly sitting next to the cake counter. I bet most of the people who see me doing this think that I'm nuts. I can see it in their faces, which repeatedly turn to me, especially waiters. Waiters loathe me, outraged and accusatory, as if they think that I either have an insatiable need for attention, or I'm trying to save money, or that I've lost my marbles and I succumbed to this gluten, milk, soya, nut, egg-free health craze. It's written all over their faces. And if I'm being honest, if I would have met myself 2 years ago before it all started, I would have looked at myself the same way. But now I've been played the arse card and contracted a rare and complicated disease, and as a result, I've turned into this person who has to tell the waiter that she won't order anything, even though she's in a restaurant. And that's why I get the whole load of resentment, indignation and condescension each time I go out with someone. I'm bracing it. I'm not hiding away because I have an illness. I have a right to be here, like everyone else. Honestly, as if I enjoy sitting in a restaurant in front of an empty plate, wearing 2 masks on top of each other and watching others stuff their bellies, lifting the mask slightly every now and then to sip my own glass of lukewarm water. Nobody enjoys this, not even people with anorexia. But I'm doing it because I chose it, of course. And of course I do it to save money. Even though I wear Converse and super dry, I can't even afford a piece of cake in a cafe. No, because I've spent all my money on branded clothes, I occupy a chair in cafes and restaurants that might otherwise be offered to an indulging customer. I have lost my right to sit here, even though I'm paying for my measly glass of water and my family is heartily hitting it around me. No, I'm a thorn in the side of the restaurant or cafe or pub owner, and because we live in Germany, the country of bad manners, I have to be shown that blatantly. I almost don't care anymore, but it always upsets my parents and especially my sister. I should punch the waiter in his smug, shitty face, Liesel said when our regular place was closed due to a private event and we had to switch to a restaurant that I had not prepared for my coming. She looked at me with this steely yet fiery look, that look of lightning and thunder that she's been amazingly good at since childhood and with which she's alienated every one of Mama's lovers, apart from the last one who stands firm. Without exception, every one of the yellow childhood pictures in our photo album shows Liesel with this look. I always thought the sky was so dark, she once told me, until I realized that my eyebrows were in the way. Yeah, a smile can really brighten your day, I replied. Have you ever heard of the girl who can't leave her room because she's allergic to everything? Or of the guy who needs to grow his own vegetables and water them with bottled spring water because he reacts to the tap water in vegetables? Or of the woman who gets one anaphylactic shock after the other 3 times a week and doesn't know why? Yep, that's me. Okay, not that bad. I can still leave the house, and I only have to wear these special allergy masks made of this fine filter material when I walk past flowering bushes or trees, cedars, a construction site, or car exhaust fumes, or people with perfume aftershave, or e-cigarettes. And I can still eat vegetables, well, Brussels sprouts, carrots and broccoli. And I don't get anaphylactic shocks anymore because I know now what triggers them, and I've learned to avoid these substances, which means that I almost can't get out of the house and have to spend long hours on the sofa or in bed to avoid getting too exhausted. Because among the thousands of triggers that make my body go haywire is exercising, or breathing in cold air, or having sex, or kissing someone who just had a latte or ate peanut butter. You can imagine how this has affected my love life. It's non-existent, so to speak. This is what Dr. Google says about my illness. In Mast Cell Activation Syndrome, the mast cells involved in the immune system are overreactive. Even contact with harmless environmental irritants can therefore lead to allergy-like symptoms and, in severe cases, to anaphylaxis. MCAS cannot be cured, but it can be treated. MCAS, pronounced MCAS, that's what I have. You are not your disease is the very first thing written at the top of the glossy brochure handed to you as soon as you suffer from something incurably life-limiting. Totally bullshit, I say. It is my body that reacts, and my body is me. Of course, one could argue that I'm more than my body and that the important thing is to maintain the boundary between the body and the self, and not allow this disease to encroach on the self. This is very deep philosophical stuff, the question of the identification of the self and its demarcation. And if you then go into the esoteric, we even have 7 bodies. I bet any Reiki healer would find that all my 7 bodies are in total chaos. They probably wouldn't even know where to lay their hands on first. Because what's not mentioned in Dr. Google's article are the mental comorbidities. Bipolar, depression, autism, hyperactivity, psychosis, panic and anxiety disorders, which an MCAS patient has to live with in addition to the constant mast attacks. To claim that I can treat my illness as something separate that I push further and further away from myself in a mental imagery until it's very small, and then I cut the tie that connects that little lonely illness so far away from me. This is so life coaching shit you only get served up by healthy or recovered people who believe being healthy is their achievement and not, as is actually the case, pure luck. Assuming that being healthy or recovered is the result of having a positive outlook in life, or because you've stayed so damn strong all along and believed in yourself and breathed in golden light, discredits the rest of the sick who don't heal spontaneously and die miserable of their diseases. At the end of the day, it's all about marketing the success of recovery lucratively, with YouTube videos that explain how to think, breathe, feel and massage certain points. Okay, I'm going to be cut off here. Please come back again to listen to the rest. I'm going to read you from my novel, and you can just follow me on my channel or whatever. Find me through my hashtags. And like, please, and share. That would be great. Okay, see you next time. Bye.